This is the Dutch Country Digest, your video tour of Lancaster County and South Central Pennsylvania. The Dutch Country Digest will help you discover a variety of things to do and places to visit throughout this fascinating Pennsylvania Dutch country. If you don't have time to watch the entire program now, you can tune us in later. This program runs continuously day and night for your convenience and enjoyment. We encourage you to get out and enjoy all that this area has to offer. Experience the atmosphere and attractions that make this area a very special place. Return again at different times of the year to experience the 4 seasons of this Pennsylvania Dutch country. But for now, pull up a chair, make yourself comfortable, and come along with us to learn about many exciting and unique attractions that await you here in this fun-filled Pennsylvania Dutch country.
In 1848, gold was discovered in California on land owned by General John Sutter. Years later, General Sutter retired to south central Pennsylvania and settled in the town of Lidditz. Lidditz is located 8 miles north of Lancaster along Route 501. In the heart of town is the Lidditz Springs Park. Renowned for its mineral springs, this park is also the home of the oldest continuous July 4th celebration in the nation. Adjoining the park is Wilbur Chocolate's Candy Americana Museum and the Candy Outlet Store. See a candy kitchen from the late 1800s, a large display of antique candy molds, wooden boxes, tin and glass candy containers, and an outstanding collection of 200 antique porcelain chocolate pots. Watch candy being made in the candy kitchen. Then browse through an enticing selection of candy products available at low factory outlet prices and sample a free Wilbur Bud. Admission is free at the Candy Americana Museum and the Wilbur Chocolate Candy Outlet on Route 501 in Lidditz. Lidditz was founded in the early 1700s. The town was laid out and named by the Lidditz Moravian Church, and during the first 100 years, only members of the Moravian Church were permitted to live here. The present Moravian Church building on Main Street in Lidditz was built in 1787. The Sisters' House, built in 1758, is now part of Linden Hall, the oldest girls' residence school in the United States. The Brethren's House was used as a military hospital during the Revolutionary War. Across from Moravian Square is the Sturgis Pretzel House. Here in 1861, Julius Sturgis opened the first commercial pretzel bakery in America. Today, this pretzel bakery is open to the public, and your ticket is a pretzel. You can purchase soft pretzels baked before your eyes in 200-year-old ovens, and watch hard pretzels being baked in modern ovens. You can even twist your own pretzel and receive the official Pretzel Twister's certificate at the Sturgis Pretzel House in Lidditz. Just look for the pretzel. Be sure to include the town of Lidditz in your tour of South Central Pennsylvania.
This Pennsylvania Dutch country has a unique historical heritage, which dates back to the 1700s. Actually, the term Pennsylvania Dutch is a misnomer. It refers to the early German or Pennsylvania Deutsch settlers in this area. Throughout the Dutch country, you will find many museums and historical homes documenting the heritage of this area. 2 state-sponsored museums and historical sites are located along Route 272 between Lancaster and Adamstown. Just northeast of Lancaster is the Pennsylvania Farm Museum of Landis Valley. Its 22 exhibit buildings feature a collection of Conestoga wagons, Pennsylvania rifles, and traditional craft demonstrations. In 1732, Conrad Weissel established one of America's earliest communal societies, the Ephrata Cloister. The religious celibates of this German Protestant monastery sought to serve God through an austere lifestyle of self-denial and spiritual purification. Members slept on board benches with wooden blocks for pillows. The Cloister Press translated and printed the Martyr's Mirror for the Mennonites. This was the largest book published in the colonies. Enjoy a guided tour of the Ephrata Cloister at routes 272 and 322 in Ephrata. Antiques and flea markets abound throughout the Dutch country. You'll find antique shops in every village and town. Just north of the Pennsylvania Turnpike along Route 272 is Adamstown. On Sundays, this community is transformed into the Sunday antiques capital of the United States. On Sundays at Stout's Black Angus Antique Mall, you'll find 300 quality antique dealers featuring an endless variety of fine antiques. Admission is free. Adjacent to the Antique Mall is the Stout Brewery, an award-winning brewer of authentic German-style beers. During the summer months, the Brewery Hall features the annual Bavarian Beer Fest with German foods, Schuhplattler dancers, and German bands. For fine antiques, German beers, great entertainment, and excellent dining, visit Stout's Black Angus on Route 272 in Adamstown. Come and enjoy the many places of interest that await you along Route 272 between Lancaster and Adamstown.
The farmlands of the Pennsylvania Dutch country are among the most productive in the nation. But many of the farmers here are different from most Americans, different by choice. For they are the Old Order Amish and Mennonites, also known as the Plain People. These people trace their heritage back hundreds of years, and yet, despite all the time that has passed and the many changes that have taken place in society, they still live and work much as their forefathers did. Their families and their farms are their top priorities, second only to their God. The Amish are very devout in their faith. They believe in the literal interpretation and application of Scripture as the Word of God. They take seriously the biblical commands to separate themselves from the things of the world. You will see their horse-drawn carriages on your drive through the countryside. Church members are not permitted to own cars because they allow easier access to the worldly influences of society. Out in their fields, you are likely to find a farmer walking behind his team of horses or mules. The Amish place a high value on farming and farm-related occupations. Closeness to the soil and to nature is important to them in providing a wholesome setting for their families. They view the city as a center of non-productive lifestyles and feel the Christian life can best be maintained in a rural environment with only minimal influence from the outside world. Today, the Amish can be found in 23 states here and in one Canadian province. The settlement in and around Lancaster County is their second largest. These plain people have been called backward by some because their lives are regulated by many traditions we may find unusual and old-fashioned. But a lot can be said for their love, the closeness of their families, and their community spirit. Perhaps our own lives could be enriched by studying their ways. We encourage you to get out and enjoy this beautiful countryside. Most of the Amish farms here are located south of Ephrata and east and south of Lancaster City. Take in the slow-paced lifestyle of these gentle people while you're here. But please understand that it's against their faith to pose for photographs. Please respect their right of privacy.
In the 1700s, turnpikes were constructed to connect cities throughout this area. Many of these roadways are still in use today. The old Philadelphia Pike was built in 1730 to connect Lancaster with the provincial capital of Philadelphia. Originally known as the King's Highway, it has since been designated Route 340. This route travels through the heart of the beautiful Amish countryside and the villages of Smoketown, Bird in Hand, and Intercourse. On Route 340, just east of the Route 30 bypass, is the Anderson Pretzel Bakery, which offers a free tour with a twist. Start with the machines that roll and twist fresh dough into thick Bavarian pretzels at a rate of 48 per minute. Follow these Bavarian pretzels down the proofing belt, into the 200-foot-long baking oven, and finally to the packing room, where they are weighed and packaged. At Anderson Pretzel Bakery, samples are free. And the outlet shop features all 18 varieties of those famous Anderson pretzels, packed for the ride home. Anderson Pretzels, for a free tour with a twist on Route 340. Just south of Route 340 along Route 896 in Smoketown is the Good and Plenty restaurant. Good and Plenty is well known for its authentic Pennsylvania Dutch cooking. Large, delicious meals are served family style, with all you can eat of such foods as crispy fried chicken, roast beef, baked ham, real mashed potatoes, homemade bread, egg noodles, shoe-fly pie, and much more. And the bake shop offers bread, pies, and cookies to go. There's good food and plenty of it at the Good and Plenty restaurant, open daily except Sunday on Route 896 in Smoketown. Along roadsides throughout the Dutch country are old stone markers, like this one found along Route 340. This marker told early travelers that it was 60 miles to Philadelphia and 6 miles to Lancaster. In the 1700s, travelers through this area spoke many different languages. Innkeepers often selected names for their inns which could be easily identified by people of all nationalities. Sometimes towns were named after these inns, such as the town of Bird in Hand. Bird in Hand traces its origin back to 1734. The old Bird in Hand mill on Route 340 was built in 1770 and still operates today, grinding wheat into flour. Agriculture is the largest industry in Pennsylvania, and Lancaster is Pennsylvania's most productive county. In fact, Lancaster is the leading non-irrigational county in the country and has been called the garden spot of the nation. The farms of the Pennsylvania Dutch country are famous for the abundance of fresh, wholesome products they provide. At the Bird in Hand Farmers Market, 30 standholders offer delicious selections of fresh fruits and vegetables, meats and cheeses, health foods, baked goods, homemade Good and Plenty ice cream, and much more. Shoppers can even take a bit of the Dutch country home with them in the form of preserves, canned goods, and craft items. There are also glass and clothing outlets located at the Bird in Hand Farmers Market on Route 340 in Bird in Hand. Some of this area's most scenic Amish farm country can be found along Route 340 between Bird in Hand and Intercourse. In sections of Route 340, as well as in many other nearby roads, you'll find grooves in the road surfaces. These are caused by boreum, a hard metal substance the Amish apply to their horses' shoes to keep them from wearing out and to prevent slipping. But this metal also chisels away at the road surface, leaving ruts in many country roads. Route 340 also passes through the unique village of Intercourse. Intercourse is a center of Amish-related activities. The Amish are often seen here conducting their banking, doing their shopping, and meeting with friends. In the heart of Intercourse is Kitchen Kettle Village. Here, 30 talented shopkeepers work at crafts such as tooling leather, carving decoys, making furniture, and painting ceramics. Shoppers are invited to sample the homemade jams, sugar-free products, cheeses, and fudge, and watch a variety of tasty foods being prepared on the premises. Then take home some oven-fresh baked goods and a jar of the famous Kitchen Kettle Chow Chow. Visit the friendly shopkeepers at Kitchen Kettle Village in Intercourse. In your tour of South Central Pennsylvania, be sure to take in the attractions that await you in Smoketown, Bird in Hand, and Intercourse. Route 340 offers a fascinating journey through the heart of this Pennsylvania Dutch country.
One of the popular symbols of this scenic countryside is the covered bridge. The first covered bridge in America was built here. Today, there are still over 30 covered bridges in use throughout the Dutch country. Most of these all-wooden structures are over 100 years old. You will find covered bridges on many of our back roads. And if you look closely, you may discover a commercial message from a bygone day. The covered bridge, one of the many attractions to be found in the rolling farmlands of the Pennsylvania Dutch country.
In the late 1700s and early 1800s, Conestoga wagons carried freight along the nation's turnpikes and hauled goods out to the frontier. These Conestoga wagons were built here in the Conestoga Valley of Pennsylvania. In 1792, the demand for a new and better roadway from Philadelphia to Lancaster resulted in the formation of the Philadelphia-Lancaster Turnpike Company. 13 toll gates were found along this turnpike. Typically, a 2-horse carriage or a Conestoga wagon was charged a quarter for 10 miles. This was the first road in North America made of crushed stone. Today, this roadway is part of U.S. Route 30 and is also known as the Lincoln Highway East. 19th century travelers on this roadway found themselves coping with large fleets of 6-horse Conestoga wagons, herds of cattle and sheep, and flocks of turkeys being driven to market. Today, you can drive from Philadelphia to Lancaster in a little over an hour. But back then, a stagecoach leaving Philadelphia at 5 in the morning wouldn't arrive in Lancaster until 11 that night. In early 1990, a major highway improvement project will be completed along a 3-mile stretch of Route 30 East. The roadway was expanded from 3 to 5 lanes to relieve traffic congestion. This roadway expansion has greatly increased accessibility to the many attractions and points of interest found along Route 30 East of the city of Lancaster. At the junction of Route 462 and Route 30 East is the Amish homestead. Farming is still done with horses and mules at the dairy farm. And an Amish family lives in the farmhouse. Guided tours through the Granddaddy section of the house provide insight into the Amish way of life. A tour of the farm buildings includes farm animals, a water wheel, and Amish buggy rides. The Amish homestead, where the Amish live, work, and play, at the junction of Route 462 and Route 30. 1 mile east is the most comprehensive collector's shop in Lancaster County.
David Winter
At Dutch
Cottages.
Indoor Village, you'll find
Tom
thousands of
Clark
fine
Knows.
collectibles at discount prices.
Sadek.
From hand-painted
Christopher
porcelain
Lawrence
to
mushrooms.
limited edition pewter sculpture,
Willett Carousel
Dutch Indoor
Designs.
Village has it all.
Michael
Hundreds
Wicker
of music.
Pewter Sculpture.
A year-round Christmas
Melody
shop,
in Motion.
and the marvelous Pewter Village,
Precious
the
Moments.
largest collection of pewter sculpture
Dickens
ever
Village.
assembled, with free shows
Steinbach.
every day.
Albrecht.
Dutch Indoor Village
Montanini.
features a collector's club
Lucy
to keep
and
you
the
advised
Bears.
of upcoming limited
Country
editions.
Cousins.
And you can place your
Rockwell
order by
Clothing.
mail. Lancaster's
Anna
premier
Lee.
collector's shop, Dutch Indoor Village, on Route 30 East. Travel along the early roads was slow and uncomfortable, but taverns could be found every few miles that afforded rest, food, and lodging. In the early 1800s, a full meal cost between 12.5 cents and 17 cents. The tradition of offering fine food to travelers still continues at a Divine Restaurant Carousel Buffet. For just one low, all-inclusive price, a Divine Restaurant offers a salad bar that features 2 homemade soups, hot entrees and vegetables from the revolving Carousel Buffet, and an assortment of desserts, ice creams, and beverages. A Divine Restaurant Carousel Buffet is located across from Dutch Wonderland on Route 30 East at the entrance to Lancaster Outlet City. Lancaster Outlet City is Lancaster's original outlet center. Over 30 stores await you, offering an extensive selection of quality merchandise at low discount prices, with savings from 25 to 70% off regular retail prices. Top quality nationally advertised brands, fashions and footwear for men, women, and children, giftware, specialty items, and a full Pennsylvania Dutch smorgasbord restaurant. Enjoy quality, convenience, and discount prices at Lancaster Outlet City, Route 30 East, across from Dutch Wonderland. Also at the entrance to Lancaster Outlet City is Murray's Menswear. Quality is the password at Murray's, where their clothes sell themselves. Top quality name brand clothing, such as Botany 500, and a full selection of men's furnishings, from underwear to outerwear, with expert alterations too. They'll even ship your tailored suits to you at no additional charge. All this at prices that won't leave you tied up, and your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. Murray's Menswear, where their clothes sell themselves. Just a quarter-mile east of Lancaster Outlet City is the National Wax Museum of Lancaster County Heritage. The rich history of the Pennsylvania Dutch country comes to life at the National Wax Museum. From the old swimming hole through the Ephrata Cloister, Wheatland, an Amish barn raising, and 28 more scenes. You will feel that you're a part of history. Open daily at 9 a.m., the National Wax Museum of Lancaster County Heritage is located next to Dutch Wonderland on Route 30 East. The National Wax Museum, more than just a wax museum. On Route 30, just 1/4 mile east of Dutch Wonderland, is the Amish Farm and House. A visit here starts with a tour of the 10-room house built in 1805. Guides explain the 200-year history of the Amish and the Plain people. The operating farm raises hay, wheat, tobacco, and corn, and a tour of the farm buildings features 20 kinds of farm animals and fowl. The Amish Farm and House, Route 30 east of Lancaster at the Covered Bridge. Whether known as the Philadelphia to Lancaster Turnpike, the Lincoln Highway, or Route 30 East, there is much to see and do along this historic route through the Pennsylvania Dutch country.
Dutch Wonderland is a part of growing up.
The castle is so big, it's magic, you'll see. There's so many rides, and I can be me. There's fast rides, and slow rides, and fun things to do. Mom and Dad like it at Dutch Wonderland, too. If you could, how long would you stay? If I could, I'd stay all night and all day.
There is so much in the land for a fun day plan on Dutch Wonderland.
The memories are about to happen at Dutch Wonderland, Route 30 East Lancaster.
Amid the rolling Amish countryside is the village of Strasburg. This is a charming community that dates back to the 1730s. Many homes here display silver plaques indicating the year in which they were built. Strasburg is located 6 miles southeast of Lancaster at the intersection of Route 741 and 896. Along Route 896, between Route 30 and Strasburg, is the Hershey Farm Restaurant. For delicious Pennsylvania Dutch-style food, you may order from their extensive menu, or help yourself to their breakfast, lunch, or dinner smorgasbords, or enjoy an old-fashioned family-style meal. You can take home the flavor of the Dutch country with a shoe-fly pie and other delicious baked goods from their bakery, and choose from hundreds of bears of every size and color at the Moore Bear Shop. Enjoy good food and lots of it at the Hershey Farm Restaurant on Route 896, just north of Strasburg. Also along Route 896, north of Strasburg, is Gast Classic Motor Cars. This ever-changing exhibit features 50 of America's favorite antique, classic, sports, and muscle cars, rich with nostalgia. A walk through this life-size scrapbook of the automobile will be enjoyed by all ages. And the Car Buff Gift Shop offers a wide selection of gifts from miniatures and models to automotive products and accessories. See exotic and famous cars at the always-changing Gast Classic Motor Cars exhibit, open 7 days a week in Strasburg. On Route 741, just east of Strasburg, is the Choo Choo Barn, Train Town, USA. At the Choo Choo Barn, you'll see a spectacular display of Lancaster County in miniature. Watch an Amish barn raising. See the train and monorail at Dutch Wonderland. And respond with the firemen to a house fire. Experience all this and more when you visit the fantastic miniature world of Train Town, USA. You'll be amazed at the lifelike quality as this exhibit brings the beauty of Lancaster County to life. Come and enjoy the Choo Choo Barn on Route 741 in Strasburg.
What? It's time to take the road to paradise. Journey through the spectacular, unspoiled Amish country. Relive the glory and splendor of turn-of-the-century railroading. Enjoy the sounds and smells of an authentic coal-burning steam locomotive. Your wooden coach with its coal oil lamps, plush seats, and pot-belly stove is well over a half-century old. Take a journey back in time. Take the road to paradise on the Strasburg Railroad. Strasburg, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
Strasburg is also the home of the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania. Here you'll find a fascinating collection of historic locomotives, railroad displays, and memorabilia. 1 mile west of Strasburg on Route 741 is the unique Village Greens Miniature Golf. Terraced on a hillside in a garden-type setting, Village Greens offers 2 challenging courses that have acquired a national reputation. Enjoy true putting surfaces on grass carpeting, challenging water holes, traps and jumps. And modern lighting makes this a picturesque setting for nighttime enjoyment. Enjoy challenging golf, fresh milkshakes, and hand-dipped ice cream at Village Greens Miniature Golf, 1 mile west of Strasburg on Route 741. Be sure to visit the many enjoyable attractions and places of interest in Strasburg, located just southeast of Lancaster City. In 1681, King Charles II of England gave William Penn 28 million acres of land in the New World, which Penn called his holy experiment as a refuge from the religious persecution that was so prevalent in Europe. Early settlers here included Mennonites, Scottish Presbyterians, German Lutherans, Amish, and others, all seeking the freedom to worship God. The Christian values that influenced these early settlers are still important to the way of life here. The Mennonites established the first permanent settlement in Lancaster County in 1710. Part of that settlement included the Hans Her House, the oldest surviving structure in Lancaster County and the oldest Mennonite meeting house in America. Built in 1719, the Hans Her House has since been restored and is open for tours just south of Lancaster and west of Strasburg. On Route 222, south of Lancaster City and west of Strasburg, is the Willow Valley. The Willow Valley Family Restaurant and the new Terrace Smorgasbord Restaurant are well known for delicious food and home-style smorgasbords. Their breakfast buffet features a wide selection of farm-fresh eggs, waffles, fresh fruit, and your choice of baked goods made right in Willow Valley's own bakery. Their luncheon and dinner smorgasbords include carved roast beef, fried chicken, baked ham, fish, and much more. But remember to leave room for dessert because the tables are piled high with freshly baked cakes and pies. And the prices? Delicious too. Willow Valley's daily breakfast buffet is just $5.95 for adults, and its smorgasbords are only $10.95. For a special treat, try the Palm Court Sunday brunch in Willow Valley's beautiful atrium courtyard. Open 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., Palm Court offers a mouth-watering variety of breakfast and luncheon specialties. The Willow Valley Family Restaurant, the Terrace Smorgasbord, and the Palm Court. 3 delicious reasons to visit the Willow Valley. Open 7 days a week, just 3 miles south of Lancaster on Route 222. In this small stone building just off Route 222, Martin Milan produced the earliest known Pennsylvania rifle. Later renamed the Kentucky rifle, this unique weapon was recognized for its accuracy and proved crucial to taming the wilderness. We hope you enjoy the history and culture to be found here in Lancaster County.
This is the city of Lancaster, a city with a rich and intriguing heritage that dates back to colonial times. Lancaster is named after Lancashire, England, and its symbol is the red rose from the House of Lancashire. In the period from the 1760s through the early 1800s, this was the largest inland town in America, and it was larger than most inland English cities as well. Lancaster was our nation's capital for one day when the Continental Congress met here in September 1777. The colonial government had withdrawn from the capital in Philadelphia to escape the approaching British troops and stopped here for a day before moving on to York, Pennsylvania. Penn Square is the hub of Center City, Lancaster. The Soldiers and Sailors Monument in the middle of the square was dedicated on July 4, 1874, to honor the county's soldiers who had served in the armed forces. The Central Market, located just off Penn Square, dates back to the mid-1700s. Every Tuesday and Friday, this market comes alive as farmers, bakers, and butchers sell their wares. 1 block west is the Fulton Opera House, America's oldest theater in continuous operation. Named after inventor Robert Fulton, this structure was built in 1852. Performers here included the Barrymores, George M. Cohan, Sarah Bernhardt, and Al Jolson. Just southeast of Penn Square is the Trinity Lutheran Church, the oldest congregation in Lancaster, dating back to 1729. The church's steeple was the tallest structure west of Philadelphia in 1800. Notice the statues of the evangelists standing guard at the 4 corners of the steeple. Have you ever been told that someone was eavesdropping on your conversation? At the Bozeman House on East King Street, this happens every day. From the overhang of the house, the eavesdropper listens to what is said on the sidewalk below. This is the home of John Passmore, who became the first mayor of Lancaster in 1818. Notice the hitching post and the stone mounting step for boarding carriages. While seated in an upstairs room, residents could use these mirrors to see who might be knocking at the front door. And callers could look above the doorway to make sure they were on time. This house on South Prince Street may lack some of the charm of the others, but it's still not bad for 10 hours work. That's right. In 1873, Benjamin Mischler built this house in only 10 hours' time in response to a wager. After 110 years, it's still in use today. Even the Lancaster County Prison is unique. It was built in the 1850s and supposedly resembles the castle at Lancashire, England. Lancaster's James Buchanan was the only bachelor president of the United States and the only president from Pennsylvania. Guided tours are available at Wheatland, his mansion home. Frank W. Woolworth built his first 5 and 10 in Lancaster in 1879. And Milton Hershey started his chocolate business here as well. There is a strong emphasis on preservation and restoration of the older buildings in Lancaster. Through adaptive reuse, these structures are being revitalized for use today. Come and enjoy the architecture and curiosities of Lancaster. Take a walking tour of the historic heart of this city. Walk the streets where Washington, Franklin, and Payne once walked. Lancaster, a fascinating city of yesterday and today.
Part of our Lancaster County heritage involves the art of brewing beer. Though brewing can be traced to many of the nationalities who settled here, it was the quality and quantity of beer brewed by local Germans that caused this area to be known as the Munich of the New World. 8 miles northwest of Lancaster in the heart of Mount Joy is Booby's Brewery, a National Historic Site. Founded by Alois Booby in the 1870s, Booby's was one of over 70 breweries that operated in this area. Today, Booby's Brewery and the Catacombs are operated as a fine restaurant and museum. A unique dining experience begins as guests are greeted by a serf and led on a short tour of the brewery. Then diners descend 40 feet through arched stone tunnels to the medieval dining chambers. Neath candlelight, scan a gourmet menu of steak and seafood offerings, and after a delicious feast, enjoy the music and the warm camaraderie of the bottling works. Booby's Brewery and the Catacombs are located in the heart of Mount Joy. Just southwest of Mount Joy, along the Susquehanna River, are the towns of Marietta, Columbia, and Wrightsville. Sparked by thriving river commerce and the iron and canal trades of the 19th century, these towns played important roles in the economic and historical development of south central Pennsylvania. In fact, Due to its scenic location, Columbia was selected by the 1778 Continental Congress to be the capital of the new nation, until political pressures moved the capital to what is now Washington, D.C. The Route 462 bridge that crosses the Susquehanna between Columbia and Wrightsville replaced the mile-long covered bridge, which was intentionally burned during the Civil War to prevent the Southern Army from raiding Lancaster for money and supplies. Today, these river towns feature museums, antique shops, and a growing sense of preservation tied to their rich historical heritage. Take time to visit the many sites that make the Susquehanna Valley so special.
Everyone loves a bargain, and they're easy to find here in the Dutch country. A variety of fine stores and services abound to meet everyone's need, from farmers markets and antiques to one of the finest selections of outlet stores you'll find anywhere. No visit to the Dutch country would be complete without stopping at one of our many farmers' roadside stands. These stands offer a variety of homegrown vegetables, freshly baked pastries and desserts, and even handmade furniture and quilts. You'll also enjoy talking with some of the local folks. This area also offers several farmers markets, which feature a wide selection of farm-fresh produce, meats, and cheeses, as well as craft items. Arts and craft shows also flourish throughout the Dutch country, with shows held almost every weekend during the summer months. And at many museums and historical sites, you'll find craftsmen working their trades as their ancestors did long ago. Visitors here will also enjoy stopping at some of this area's many antique shops. Everywhere you go, you'll encounter antique shopping at its finest. And Adamstown is known as the Sunday antiques capital of the nation. The Dutch country is an outlet shopper's paradise. A wide variety of factory outlet stores give manufacturers the opportunity to sell their overstocked products, discontinued lines, and irregular merchandise at bargain prices. Many outlet stores offer savings from 40 to 70% and more off regular retail prices. And these savings can be found on top-selling brand name merchandise. Located along Route 30 East and across from Dutch Wonderland is Lancaster Outlet City. From footwear to fashions, linens to lingerie, sport coats to smorgasbord, coordinates to craft supplies. You'll find it all at Lancaster Outlet City. This is the original outlet center in Lancaster. Here you'll find over 30 stores which offer an extensive selection of quality merchandise at low discount prices. You'll find something for everyone, with savings from 25 to 70% off regular retail prices. Top quality, nationally advertised brands, including a full selection of dress and casual clothing for men, women, and children, a variety of craft items, gifts for the home, and a full Pennsylvania Dutch smorgasbord restaurant. Enjoy quality, convenience, and discount prices at Lancaster Outlet City, Route 30 East, across from Dutch Wonderland. At the entrance to Outlet City is Murray's Menswear. At Murray's, they don't just sell men's clothing. They sell fashion, style, status, image, respect, elegance, protection, relaxation, confidence, assurance, comfort. And they sell it for less. Expert alterations are available, and they'll even ship your tailored suit to you at no additional charge. At Murray's Menswear, they help you dress right for less. At Lancaster Outlet City on Route 30 East. For nearly a century, Lancaster has been home to the Hamilton Watch and Clock Company. Today, Hamilton operates 3 factory outlets in the Lancaster area, featuring everyday savings of up to 50% and more. Dress watches, sports watches, and classic reproductions. Swatch, and other brands too. Plus a wide selection of handcrafted heirloom clocks. Hamilton Watch and Clock Shops in Rockville Square along Route 30, on Wheatland Avenue in Lancaster, and in the Village at Meadowbrook in York. Everyone loves a bargain, and there are many to be found throughout the Dutch country. We hope you'll enjoy mixing shopping with sightseeing as you tour this fascinating area.
To get the most from your visit to this area, be sure to visit one of our local visitor information centers. They offer free maps and brochures, information on area attractions, and informed staffs to help answer your questions. And brochures are available to provide additional information on the attractions you saw in this program. We encourage you to get out and enjoy all that this area has to offer. Get away from the main roads and take in the beautiful countryside. Experience the atmosphere and attractions that make this area a very special place indeed. Return again at different times of the year to experience the 4 seasons of this Pennsylvania Dutch country. This area is centrally located for easy access to the many attractions throughout southeastern Pennsylvania and northern Maryland. Gettysburg, Harrisburg, Hershey, Lebanon, Reading, Lancaster, and York. Visit these sites by day and return to the Dutch country by night. And on your next visit to this area, we invite you to again use this Pennsylvania Dutch country as your home base while taking in the many attractions in these communities. We hope this area will become one of your favorite family vacation spots. It is our hope that the Dutch Country Digest has helped you better understand the special charm of this area. When you stop at different locations seen in this program, be sure to mention that you saw them in the Dutch Country Digest.
The Amishman is the steward of the land he plows. These Anabaptists of Swiss-German origin still adhere to a simple lifestyle based on a literal interpretation of the Bible. Mel Horst, a professional photographer, has lived among the Amish as a neighbor and friend for over 40 years. He shares his insight and unique photographs in a 52-minute videotape entitled The Amish. Ask at the front desk or at area gift shops, or contact Action Video Productions.